A Del Rapids man is keeping a historic business going strong in his community, and he's got an interesting background in front of the camera. Eric Thorstensen introduces us to Brian Anderson, who's this week's Someone You Should Know.
You know, getting into that business, it was fun.
Growing up in Southern California, Brian Anderson was a childhood actor.
My parents, noticed that I was always watching TV, always watching movies like, most kids these days. But they said, it would be kind of fun to actually have you in the movies and TV shows. So they just happened to reach out to a Hollywood agent and, went from there.
That led him to landing parts, mainly as a background actor.
So some of the most famous ones I was in that everybody keeps talking about is Saved by the Bell college years and Full House when, the Olsen twins were pretty little. I did some TV shows and movies. One of my favorite movies that I was in was called Junior, and that was with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. So I got to meet my childhood action hero.
Eventually, as a teenager, Brian and his family moved to South Dakota, where they had family ties.
My parents decided that it'd be a better place to raise us here in the Midwest, and we moved here in August of '95, and it was quite the change from Southern California to the Midwest.
Where are we?
Some of his first jobs were working in movie theaters, which eventually led him to the Dells Theater 15 years ago.
Yep, this is a part-time job. Just a fun job, just have some little extra spending cash.
Brian eventually became a manager and then just the fourth owner since this historic theater opened in 1938.
About 5 years ago, I was actually in 2020, Jeff Logan, the previous owner, was thinking about retiring, and so he kind of reached out to us managers and said, hey, I'm planning on selling. Is anybody interested? And of course, I was 50, 60 miles away. They come here because they love the nostalgic feel of the movie theater.
He's here most weekends when the movies run.
We have the best popcorn.
And he's still got some of that performer in him.
Every time we have a fun movie coming out, I'm in costume or something. I'm going around downtown. I'm going into businesses and interacting with everybody. I just have that in me just to kind of go out and entertain others.
The theater did face a major challenge in recent months with the need for a new projector, which would cost $40,000. With the help of a number of community fundraisers, the money was raised, and that projector recently came from Germany.
Easier to maintain, and it's just an all-around, puts out a great picture, nice and bright. It's heartwarming, to know how much people, love the theater here in Del Rapids, and just everybody coming together and just, donating money or even just coming in and just saying, hey, we're wishing you the best. And I mean, you can't live in a better community than this.
And because of that, the curtains will keep opening, and Brian will keep running this community gem for years to come.
Everybody here in the community has ties to this theater because they were here when they were kids, in the 50s and 60s, and now they're bringing their grandkids here, and they tell me stories about how they used to come here and pay a nickel for a movie ticket. And so it's just, and then you have that one-on-one contact with everybody that comes in here. They tell you their stories, and they just keep telling you all the time how they love coming back here. Yeah, I'm hoping to grow old here, and we have an apartment upstairs, so maybe when the kids finally move out and my wife agrees, we'll move upstairs to the apartment and I'll be here all the time.
In Del Rapids, Eric Thorstensen, Dakota News Now.
Now, Brian does have a day job at Sanford Health. The Dells Theater shows movies from Fridays through Mondays. And as always, if there's someone you think we all should know, please email a nomination to news@dakotanewsnow.com.